Hello there. Invercargill, you've got a by-election coming up that the voting period starts from Thursday this week. Now, the by-election was brought about because a seat was vacated by a councillor who was caught sexually harassing staff, and then that was kind of brushed under the carpet a little bit by the mayor. And you know what? This isn't a video about the mayor, there's plenty of those out there. Whether or not you agree with the mayor and want to continue doing things his way, or you want to put another voice onto council, that choice is entirely yours, which you can make from Thursday. You've got 14 candidates running in this year's by-election, and it's a fascinating field. Now, I'm not going to endorse anybody in particular, and I'm still doing research on some candidates, and that's what this video is about. You need to do your research, like properly research, like get out there and actually talk to these people, because there's an interesting mix of people for a start. Like you've got this one who was on New Zealand Idol and X Factor, who's a local radio show host. You've got this one who actually stood up at a Julian Bachelor Roadshow and called him out on his BS. You've got this one who is a TikTok star who does very well and has a nice affinity for old classic cars. They're really cool. You've got this one who turns around and says in his candidate profile, if you want to vote for somebody with hidden agendas, don't vote for me. I mean, the agendas are hidden. So how do we know what they are? It's very strange, that one. To be fair, you've got this guy who's a rock and roll dancer. You've got this dude, very lovely to chat to, but he shares an unfortunate name with the first Australian to run off and join Al-Qaeda, which is the first thing that pops up when you Google him, which is why it is so important that if you get a chance to go out and meet your candidates, you can do that. There's a whole bunch of Meet the Candidate events being lined up. The council will be promoting them on their page, where you can also find information about each of the candidates that's going to be in the election booklet that gets sent out to you. It is so important that you make sure the voice that you want to have heard is on that council table, making decisions around everything. There's a lot of talk at the moment around areas like the museum, for example, and you've got some candidates who are really skilled at that, but you've also got candidates who are really skilled at public outreach, or of talking to youth, or of dealing with senior citizens issues. Have a look through the booklets, make sure you do your research, but definitely get out there and ask questions like, hey, if you've been endorsed by the mayor, does that mean that you share his beliefs on things like Māori? Or why is there no online presence for you? And the only things that we've been able to find is that your username on Facebook refers to flat earth theory and a comment from 2020 saying that 5G causes COVID. Those are the sort of questions that you can ask candidates, but also things like, what are you going to do about our rates? What do you think of speed limits? What about rubbish collection? Make sure you get out and do your research. Your voting forms should be with you by Thursday. It's a postal ballot like all of these things. You've got a couple of weeks to get them all done, dusted, and in.